Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Oh, hell yeah! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are once again live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey, and this is once again the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Sudi. This is Brian, the Dark Wing Daily. We got Rob the Povia once again stepping back behind the board, back in the saddle again.
Delete!
Yes, the broken one himself. And we are brought to you by the Scherzano Sports Center, located in 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scherzanosports.com. All right. Feels good right now, especially considering the fact that right now, currently, as the Flyers game is winding down to a close, so far the Flyers have been holding on to a precarious 2-1 lead. But with the efforts of Brian Elliott and the defense, they've been holding strong.
Yes, they have. Mr. Third Star of the Week with save percentage with, I believe it was a .975 or 957. He's had a hell of a week.
He has, man, and I'll tell you right now, it's been one hell of a moment to start. I've been enjoying every second of it. The Flyers couldn't buy a win in November, and now they roll into the month of December. And now all they're doing is winning right now. This is nice, seeing them win 4 straight games. In about 39 seconds, they're going to have an official 5-game win streak. Who would have thought that, quite frankly? A team that win 10 straight games losing, now looking like they're going to get 5 straight wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like it's a whole nother team now. And there was a simple change of a couple line combinations, and you know, you spread out the scoring instead of having it all on one line, and now you're getting production from all 4 lines.
Yeah, and I love it. I love every second of it. You cannot not love it. I mean, it's just been amazing to see how the Flyers have been able to change from a team that was looking so bad to a team now looking pretty darn good. It's an unbelievable turnaround, just like flipping a coin.
Yeah, and one guy specifically that I want to highlight, especially in tonight's game, is Ivan Provorov. His play this season, he's one of the top to me, one of the top defenders in the league, and one of the biggest pieces that the Flyers have to come in this future. And he's going to be their future number 1 defenseman.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he's played so well, so phenomenal, and this team has performed so well with the with the defensive side of the puck. Now they've really, they had some issues at first, but now they've really seemed to kind of shoring those up and really getting themselves back under control. They're being able to hold the lead, and they just secured their 5th straight win. So, I mean, it's been a pretty solid effort right now from this defense, man. And they have their 5 straight wins in regulation for the first time since October through November of 2010. That's a long time not go on a 5-game win streak. But that's great. I mean, that's a good sign for the team putting themselves in the right direction and taking a step forward.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of their defensemen back. Rocco Gudis back tonight. I believe it's his first game back from his suspension. Looking like he got some really good shots on net, being productive, making good hard-nosed plays, but I'm still not sold on him. He's going to be a liability.
You not sold on Rocco Gudis? I don't think I've ever heard of anything more crazier a day in my life. I mean, from all I've ever heard of, you love Rocco Gudis. You wish that he had been on the Anaheim Ducks. That's how much you love him. To the point where you could never imagine this team without him. I take it that you caught on to my sarcasm. At least
I did now.
But yes, Flyers once again enjoying a victory and finding themselves with a 5 straight game, which this is just nice. This is nice.
Final?
I love it. It is final. The Flyers have officially won. I like it.
2-1?
I like it a lot. 2-1 is the final score.
Nice.
So there you go. All right, so with the Flyers officially chalking up another win into the books, we dive into why the Flyers have achieved this and how the Flyers can continue to achieve this as the year pushes forward. Can the Flyers maintain a consistency? Now, eventually they will lose a game. That's going to happen. However, can they say, you know what, that's just one loss, doesn't matter, out of the way, and they can just go right back to winning? Can they keep that kind of consistency up? Can Brian Elliott keep the consistent performance that he's had up? He doesn't have to stand on his head every night, but he can at least be consistent enough to where the Flyers don't necessarily need to panic about whether or not he's going to be good or not in goal.
I don't think you're ever really going to have to question whether or not, every goalie's going to have a shaky game once in a while. But I don't think you're really going to ever question, going into a game, how many goals is he going to let up tonight? This guy, he's terrible. He's hard. I don't think that's something you're ever going to have to worry about with Brian Elliott. He's going to give up goals.
So he's not really Ilya Bryzgalov.
I've gotten to see Ilya Bryzgalov in his prime, so.
You know what? I brought this up to the wrong person. Yeah, forget it. I'm not telling you anything anymore.
For real, though, I think he can. The defense just needs to continue to play well in front of him like they have been these last 4 or 5 games.
No, you're right. And as long as they can maintain that performance and maintain that ability, it shouldn't be too hard for Brian Elliott to hold on and be able to get wins for us as we move down the line. I mean, again, this is a night and day team. We were looking at a team that was pretty much on the cusp of being one of the worst teams in the NHL to now being a team that's starting to pull themselves out of the hole they dug themselves. And it wasn't that deep of a hole, but they are pulling themselves out of it slowly but surely.
Yeah, no, pull themselves to, I believe they're at 33. They're roughly three or 4 points out of the final wildcard spot. I believe that's what I saw. 4 points back.
Yeah. Yeah, about that. So they're moving into good positioning right now. I mean, yeah, it's a little early to talk about playoff positioning, but it isn't too early to get the competition going and to get yourself into a better spot. So that way, when it comes down to crunch time, you don't have too many teams to jump in the latter portion of the season. And, of course, as always, we have our comments coming in, starting it off with on Facebook as well as YouTube. Of course, you can view us on either site. And, Brian, you want to go ahead and give off some of our Facebook comments?
All right, our faithful Facebook followers. James Wather, we're going to kick it off with you, man.
All right.
What's going on, dude? 7, because why not? And the question is, how long will the Flyers keep up this winning streak? James 6 is going to be 7. Michael Mataraki joining us. Lucky 7. James Wilder coming back with they're a streaky team, so pretty unpredictable. From night to night, it's a Jekyll and Hyde game. Yeah, pretty much.
This is true. I mean, that's kind of how it is.
But like I said earlier, they're playing pretty well in front of Brian Elliott, so I want to see this ride as much as possible. Adrian Barrett going with, I'm going with 6. LA will be a tough one on Monday night. And that couldn't be any truer.
They're going to be tough. It's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with Los Angeles, especially with the kind of season they're having. They've revamped a team that was looking like they were going to die a very painful, slow, miserable death.
Only one of us could hope.
And then your prayers were not answered because then next thing you know, they have resurged into the standings.
One of the best defensive teams in the league right now. League lowest in goals against is 73.
That's pretty damn good right there.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The Flyers. Don't get me wrong, though. L.A., it's still early in the season, so you can't jump too far ahead of that. But it's a great start for this team. And if they can maintain this kind of performance and they can maintain this kind of play, it's not going to be fun to deal with them come playoff time.
Oh, not at all. It's not fun to play with them now. We also have Greg Malakovich chiming in. 7 is always a good number on the felt. Let's go.
Like it. Like the confidence and the spirit coming in there for Philadelphia. Fuck all the other teams. It's all about the orange and black. And you can actually get down with that because your team's there. But it's got a little bit of gold in there because, a little bit of fraudishness in there.
Don't mind the gold. It's only a little bit.
Could be worse. Could be all gold and black like Mikey. But anyway.
And you got Tom Arsenault chiming in. Another big win, boys.
Yes.
It's true.
Another big win. And who would have thought it? Really, who would have thought it? Honestly, I don't think there's any three of us in this room. I don't think we would have thought of this. That a team that was on double digits in a losing streak at 10 losses only got 2 wins in November. They jump into December. Sure, it started off with a loss and a shutout against Boston. But when they went on the road, oddly enough, it was exactly what the doctor ordered. They go out to Western Canada. Who did they beat first? They beat Edmonton first. Calgary, thank you. Don't know how I got that wrong. But anyway, they beat Calgary first. Then they beat Edmonton. Then they beat Vancouver. And then they come back to Philly to face the Toronto Maple Leafs led by Austin Matthews and coached by Mike Babcock, arguably one of the best coaches, if not the best coaches, currently today in the NHL.
I mean, it's just the truth.
You just don't like it because he coached the Detroit Red Wings. You just don't like that.
No, I just don't like it because he didn't win a cup when he was the head coach of Anaheim. He should have in 2003.
Oh, the New Jersey Devils shouldn't have done a lot of things, but they fucking did it anyway.
Yes, they did.
Like shorten a Hall of Famer's career. But you know what? We can get into that in another segment.
Real quick, guys, I heard this little factoid. This will be a first of a couple factoids that I heard on the Flyers broadcast on the way down to the studio today. Normally the Flyers, and we know this, Maddie, always go on that Western Canada trip right around between Christmas and New Year's. Well, from starting off the season out there, as we recall, going through this recent trip, before the calendar struck, or as it went into December, now you have the 6-game homestand. They go to Florida for 2 games against, obviously, the Panthers and the Lightning, and then they're back home after New Year's. They don't have to go out to Western. This is unfathomed because usually the Flyers are always out in Western Canada around this time. So, being that they got these tough games out of the road, do you guys think this might set them up to continue this win streak?
I mean, it could because you don't have to worry about that, like you said, that very tiresome West Coast road trip during, quite frankly, one of the toughest times in the year to travel and one of the biggest times of the year to party. So,
yeah.
Especially,
I think you could get a little home cooking going.
Especially considering the fact that you got to take one of those games out in Vegas.
Right.
But that's a different story for a different time.
And Maddie, they predominantly have done very poor during that Western Canada trip, and having it earlier in the season on both swings to start the season and of this recent, obviously can't do better than sweeping it. They've fared better. Please, schedule makers, keep it like this.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule that they have this year favors them heavily. I mean, they got all their West Coast teams pretty much. The West Coast trips are almost done. They only have one more. They only got 4 more games to go. We touched on this last week with Arizona, Las Vegas, Dallas, and Colorado. That's the only 4 places they have left to go. And then they're back playing on the East Coast the rest of the year, worrying about division rivals and just climbing up the wild card. So this is a very beneficial schedule for the Flyers this year.
Yeah, and now that they're getting off to the right start here, they're getting these games in, and they're actually making a legitimate win streak happen. It's great to help get yourself in good positioning along with it, because one of the things, like you were saying earlier, getting themselves in a better wild card spot, even though it's too early to really worry about playoff positioning, it is important to at least have good positioning in the wild card race, because the division's going to be a pain in the dick. And you know that it's going to be almost impossible to get 1, 2, or 3 in the division, most likely in the Metropolitan. It is almost impossible. So for the Flyers at this point, to get good positioning in the wild card race with giving you very few teams to jump, very few teams to compete with, it can really produce a much leisure way into the wild card, which if that can happen, would be wonderful. The Flyers won't have to stress themselves out. They won't have to watch 5 different teams to see how 5 different teams do. Unfortunately, that's probably what's really going to happen, because that's always what fucking happens in the East. It's not like the West. In the West, it usually comes down to there's only 2 teams competing for the final wild card spot, and the one other team is so far ahead in the wild card, it's ridiculous. That's usually how that pans out there.
But both leagues right now they're fairly close, which makes me very nervous. But Anyway, a couple more comments to read off here. I got Ralph Del Velchio. What's up, boys? Ralph, how you doing, man? And I got Adam J. Jonas chiming in. You'll like this one, Maddie.
Sure.
Going to say 8 in a row, and 15 of the next 20, they got their swag back.
Ooh, I like it. That is a lot, and I mean a lot of positivity coming right there. I could get down with that.
Get down with that.
I am big time down with that. So, folks, if you feel like the Flyers are going to go on an 8-game win streak, or you feel like their win streak is going to continue to however many games you like, there is another option. It's not just a straightforward number. I left it there for interpretation, and I left it there for how long do you think? It's like the Bible. It's all about interpretation. At the end of the day, you could choose whatever number you want to choose. And we got some comments out here on the YouTube. And getting it started off with Bleeding Green saying, 5th straight. Great job, Fly Guys. Damn right. David Roska. What's up, David?
Dave.
Chiming in saying, what's up, boys? Our Ducks rock. And now you got.
They're doing a very good job staying afloat with all the injuries they've had to go through this year.
I love how moderate you are with that. Like, it's hilarious.
I mean, look at it. Like, they've lost Kessler at some point. They lost Getzlav at some point. Every time somebody goes out or comes back in, somebody's going out. It's tough to deal with. But the Ducks are doing a good job staying afloat in the wild card.
And I haven't seen you since the big trade, man. They traded Batten for
Adam Henrique.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I love it.
I think he just creamed in his pants.
No, not yet. The deal with Adam Henrique is looking better and better every day. He's 5-6 points in his first 5 games as a Duck, 2 goals, 3 assists. Can't be happier. The offense was definitely missing something. They were definitely missing a spark, and I think Adam Henrique has found that spark. He can shoot the puck. He's a former 30-goal scorer, and we all know that he can dish it too.
No offense to you and David, but I can't like that guy for a while because, that New Jersey Devil stench has got to get off of him before he can truly be a Duck to me. And don't get me wrong, it will eventually get there. It'll get there. But for now, he's still got that stench of a Devil. So you know what? I still don't like him right now.
What exactly does that smell like?
It smells like, it's like the perfect storm when you accidentally walk into a lady's bathroom and there's a used tampon on the floor.
Ugh.
That's what the New Jersey Devils smell like.
Ugh.
Because they've got period blood jerseys.
Ugh.
That's basically what they smell like.
Thank God Dawn's not listening to the show right now. Oh, anyway. So, yeah.
All right.
That's what I think about Adam Henrique. But like I said, Ducks are doing a good job staying afloat.
You good?
I'm good.
You need a cigarette?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. Just wondering.
I told you, not yet.
All right. With that being said, we got all the chime-ins, and obviously the question was, how long do you think the Flyers' win streak will be? And it's 5, 6 games, 7 games, or more. And, of course, David Roska also chimed in as well. Our Ducks won over St. Louis.
Oh, nice. I totally forgot to check the score of that game. Thanks for reminding me, Dave.
See, Dave's keeping you on track as a Ducks fan.
Dave is keeping me on track. I'm
Real quick, fellas, today's a special day.
Special day. It is. What is the special day?
Today is Chris Terrian, or as we know him, Bundy. It's his birthday today. So happy birthday, Bundy.
Happy birthday, Bundy.
You know what's crazy? I didn't realize he was 46 years old.
Yes.
I thought he was a little bit younger.
Old man.
A little bit younger.
Old man.
A little bit younger. I love how you just
threw
that in there.
He goes with the dye job. He doesn't go the Melrose way with the wings.
The Melrose way. I can't stand that guy.
Melrose is the only man who is all business up front, party in the rear.
That's
That's pretty. I swear to God, he's the only one who still has that.
No, Yager still has a mullet.
Yeah, but Yager's cool, so you know what? He doesn't get made fun of.
Fair enough.
He doesn't get made fun of for the ape drape, so he's cool.
That's fantastic.
The ape drape. Oh my God.
By the way, that's an awesome song if you've never listened to it, by the Vandals. Check it out. You'll laugh your ass off at it. But anyway, that's a different story for a different time.
Yes.
Also, David Roska says, Cup from 03 belonged to us. I agree with you, Brian.
Dave, I'm going to take you places.
Mr. Rams.
I will take you places.
Okay,
Mr.
okay.
LA.
Hold on a second. Did you say take? Okay, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? I need to know.
I'm not exactly sure what I meant by that.
Because that sounds a little, Rob, what are you thinking here? That's a little interesting comment right there.
I don't know. It's a little vague.
Little vague, yeah.
He's staying neutral, man.
He's
I've taught him
staying-
well.
Yeah.
You never get caught too far on one side or the other.
Right, exactly. You can't. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, we're going to go," and then tell you where we're going to go, and then be like, "Wait, I don't know if I want to go there."
Well, I broke it down for the boys from AM and the PM last night. All sports relies on breaks. Let's face facts. But with hockey, it's the most reliant upon the breaks, which makes it one of the hardest games to properly dissect and project teams based on their level of play. I mean, unless you're an expert analyst like the two on the couch right here, you don't. It's very tough to pinpoint or whatnot. So you got to go with trends. You got to go with the little things. Are they winning battles? And it all starts from there.
Yep, and that's the things that they're doing right now. Before I read off a couple more comments here, they're doing the little things right, clearing the pucks in front of the net, getting the sticks lifted in front of the net, winning battles along the board, not giving up on the battles along the board, as I saw Travis Konechny doing tonight. He's a feisty little guy.
Yes, he is.
Don't you love that about him too?
Yeah.
That reminds me of Danny. It really does.
Little bit.
'Cause
Yeah,
Danny
I see
B
that.
Was a feisty little fucker too. He would fight every 5 seconds.
Well, this was the major difference. What you weren't seeing were all these things during the 10-game winless streak, and what you're starting to see now during this win streak. And you know what? As much as we ridicule these two men, and you ridicule them more than most on one of them or whatnot, really the difference is having vets back like Andrew McDonald and Radko Gudas. I know I've been hard on McDonald, but when he's out of the lineup, you miss what he's doing. And when he's on the lineup, you're complaining about what he's not doing.
Yeah.
But you're missing all that defensive presence on that blue line, that veteran leadership in the locker room, and it really pays dividends. With Gudas, you get that too, and he's able to bring size and grit. Does he go overboard and become a liability to the team? I'm starting to really see it your way, Brian, no doubt about it, right? But when he can control that, this is what this Flyer team needs, because let's face facts, they're a small team. The speed is better from last season, but it's not enough to make up for this lack of size, and they get muscled off the pucks way too much. They're starting to combat that a little bit. Guys like, McDonald and Gudas. Dale Weiss helps with that as well. If they can get bigger over the course of this season into next season, I think that would drastically improve their playoff chances, or more appropriately, playoff success.
I agree.
No, you absolutely 100% right on that one. And they've got to, and that's the important thing is, you win those battles, you get yourself under control, and not only that, it helps the defense and the offense all together rolled up into one.
Yep.
And the other major thing that the Flyers can do is if you can win in the dirty areas. If they start winning in those dirty corners, they're actually going to be able to get the puck out to the slot a little bit more often in the offensive zone and allow for more opportunities in front of the net. Not only that, too, they'll also be able to get backtracking in time on defense and be able to hold and win battles in the long run and get themselves chipping back up the boards.
It's funny that you bring that up, because the first goal of tonight's game was a nice forechecking play from Jordan Wheel. Wound up getting the puck to Dale Weiss, and Dale Weiss threw the puck in the slot for I'm blanking. Oh, for Travis Sanheim to
Travis
set up
Sanheim.
for his first career NHL goal.
Yeah, his first ever NHL goal, which is congratulations to Mr. Travis Sanheim. Hopefully one of many to come.
Many goals.
Yes. Not just this first year, but in future years to come.
Well, here's random fact number one
Sure.
that I caught from Mr. Tim Saunders, one of the best play-by-play radio guys in the universe, in all of space and time. With Sanheim's first NHL goal tonight, it makes 3 years in a row that a Flyer netted their first NHL goal versus Buffalo. 2 years ago, you know who it was? 2 years ago?
2 years ago. Okay, so it was the first year.
Yeah, the first of the three. So we had
Shane
like
Gostisbehere.
That's a great guess. No, though.
Oh.
If it's not Shane, if it was 2 years ago, not Shane Gostisbehere, 2 years ago.
That's a really good guess with Ghost. He's no
It
longer
is,
on the
yeah.
Flyers team.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that makes it a little bit harder.
Was it? Oh, hold on. No, it can't be him. Was it Brandon Manning?
No, but that's a good guess too, though. But no. Yeah, he had goals before then. It was Nick Cousins.
Oh, yeah.
Nick
Okay.
Cousins.
Yep.
That's who we.
I would
got
not
rid
have
of this
thought
year.
that. I would have
That's
not
right.
thought of him.
That's who we got rid of this year. That's right, because he went to Arizona.
Yeah.
Correct.
That makes sense.
Correct.
That makes sense.
So 2 years ago, he netted his first NHL goal versus Buffalo. Last season, Mr. Travis Konechny, who's starting to gain a little confidence, and if the Flyers can get him rolling,
Yes.
then sky's the limit with this win streak. He scored his first NHL last season against Buffalo, and now tonight, Travis Anaheim. Congrats, brother.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Flyers, right now looking at their schedule coming up, I mean, getting the win against Buffalo, huge, getting 5 straight wins. Now they go in back home as they're still continuing their 5-game homestand at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. They face off with the Dallas Stars. And the Stars, relatively overall, they have had a meh kind of start to their season. Not great, not bad, just kind of there, basically.
They're coming on strong, though. I mean, the play from Ben Bishop, and I know he got hurt the other night. I don't know how serious his injury was or if he missed any time, but, they're coming on strong. The offense is starting to find their way back to putting pucks in the net, and the defense is playing strong. Ben Bishop, doing what Ben Bishop does, making good saves. He's a good goaltender, and I think that's something that really hurt Dallas last year. And they went out and they fixed the problem.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. I mean, Dallas is kind of just trying to retool their team because they're not a bad team when you look at them on paper. It's just that everything that they tried to do last year was terrible. And it totally didn't work with them at all, to the point where they were one of the worst teams in the NHL. Now it's starting to look like, okay, they're starting to piece it back together. Maybe they can get the wheels back on, and maybe they can make it to the playoffs. It's not a guarantee, though, for them this year. I mean, the last time they made it, they lost in the semis? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was the semifinals against St. Louis.
St. Louis, yeah. I was double-checking that because, did they beat Minnesota? And they did beat Minnesota. That's right.
Took him 7. Got a couple of comments rolling in here. Frank Vespi, hashtag free the gnome.
Oh, Schultze, he's not here. Where is he? Where is Schultze, actually?
The Eagles Toyota thing.
Oh, they covered him up. We'll get him.
They covered him
We'll
up.
get him.
Oh, come on. That's cruel. What did Schultze ever do to you guys?
Thomas Arnone chiming in. Let's go for 10 in a row. And then we have one of our new guys to A2D Radio, Michael Wesley Chromiak. I believe he's on, correct me if I'm wrong, Birds of a Feather.
Okay.
Chiming in, hey guys, let's go for 10. Screw it. Aim high.
That's right. Aim for high. Aim for those high goals.
And we saw how well a 10-game win streak did for us last season. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it did create the highlight of the
Did
year.
we say 10? Make it 20.
He also goes on to say, he says he's jumping in late here. That's fine. What do you think of the Flyers being open to trade offers on Yuri Laterra? I can't seem to talk today. Yuri Latella. Laterra.
Latella. Sounds like something you put over your bread in the morning.
Yeah. Nutella. Yeah. It's a Christmas time. Yeah. Hazelnut, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, we have a plethora of third and fourth line guys. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be opposed to it if it results in more time for a really smart hockey player like Taylor Lear to be playing. The trade-off there is that Lear's predominantly a winger, if not exclusively a winger, whereas Laterra can play center or wing for you. So it takes that away a little bit, but we got pretty good depth of center. So, I don't know how much you would bring in. I think it'd be part of a package,
I mean, I don't think you're going to get much for him, but it depends on what we're getting back. Who we trading him to? Who's on the market right now that's looking for a third line center?
It's not a bad idea to keep the idea open, but I think really the only time that's ever going to get any real talk is, of course, during the trade deadline, when we find out where we're at. If we're going to make the playoffs, then you can heavily consider, okay, where can we put Laterra if he's not performing as we want him to? Or if he is performing as we want to, we could say, okay, what can we do to make Laterra better? That would be the question that you have to ask then. Right now, though, it's a little premature to jump at it, but it's not a bad idea, though, to keep the talks open.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to if the feelers get thrown out there, you don't want to say no, but you don't want to say yes. It's a little too early to kind of throw that kind of idea out, at least in my opinion.
If we're going to throw some names out there, I'm going to look up his contract real quick. He would be one of the guys I would throw out there. How do we spell his name? Where'd it go? There it is. Here it is. Ah, cool. All right, Yuri Laterra. His cap is
I don't think it was too big of a contract.
4.7.
No, actually.
So that could free up a little bit of cap space to maybe bring somebody else up or sign somebody to an extension or whatever.
Well, they saved the year by Dish and Shen, right? But but what is there still this year and next year for Laterra?
He has
I think.
one more year.
Yeah, so
One more
it
year
is.
after the season, right?
Yeah.
Which makes him actually a little bit more open to trade. I mean, it makes him a little bit more easier to dish off because GMs are willing to say, okay, we'll take him for a year and see what he can do. That's not a real issue, and the salary wouldn't be too much of a problem because if it's only 1 year, it's only 1 year.
Yeah, and
so it's not going to really kill it.
I agree with his next statement here. He says, hasn't seemed to find his footing. Hopefully he can find his spot or at least build his trade value. The one thing about Laterra is he's not an offensive scorer.
No, that wasn't. Yeah.
He's just not. He's more of a defensive-minded player. He's a heavy two-way player, heavy on the defensive side. He's decent at face-offs. I mean, he's a role player. He's a shutdown guy. So if you can find a team that, like I said, is looking for a third-line, two-way type center, you might be able to pull off some kind of deal.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing, though. When we did that trade initially, I even scratched my head at it. I was like, Laterra, he's not really anything remotely related to Braden Shen. Why would we trade him for that? And the pick also was just whatever. That was just thrown in. But
I'll take the first round pick.
No, I wasn't.
Morgan Frost?
I wasn't. I wasn't offended by that. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take that. But still, what I was saying was that the reason why I think that trade was made is because we wanted to push Braden Shen out of the team for one reason and one reason only. And this is what I think truly happened. They knew they were going to start Nolan Patrick at the beginning of the year. And so they needed to get Braden Shen off the books and out of Philadelphia. So they called up St. Louis. St. Louis had the guy on the table. And we'll also throw this in for you to sweeten the deal. I'm like, all right, bye, Shen. I mean, hell, it paid off for St. Louis at the end of the day because they can't be complaining with Braden Shen. He's performing well down there.
5 points already,
Yeah.
36.
So, I mean,
the first star player of the week with 6 goals.
which sucks because just like, what the hell, man? Where the hell was that on the Flyers? But
Well, I mean, I thought about this earlier today. You know, the system probably just didn't fit for Braden Shen, and he goes out and he gets into Mike Yo's system, and
he's playing with
and
Tarasenko. You know,
yeah,
so
I mean,
that adds
that
to
helps.
it, you know.
But it's also the system too. The system not every system fits for every player. The Flyers or Dave Haxall's system probably just didn't fit for Braden Shen, so you got to send him off. Now he's having success in Mike Yow's system.
I mean, that's true. But again, I still think also that, again, the whole reason why that trade even happened in the first place was, again, Braden Shen needed to go. He needed to be out of Philly because they knew what they were going to do. They were going to put Nolan Patrick on the team come the start. Even with the injury that he had, obviously he recovered very, very well, very, very fast. And we saw that because, quite frankly, Patrick has played like he never had an injury at all. Literally, at the beginning of the season, it didn't even look like he was recovering from anything. It looked like it's just there's no loss in skate, there's no loss in speed, there's no loss in anything. And the injury he suffered was a concussion, not the injury from the herniated disc. There was nothing of that. So, in my opinion, that's what I think really happened in the offseason, and that's why Braden Shen is no longer wearing an orange and black jersey. I think, honestly, that's the reason why.
Mike goes on to say, didn't love the trade. Don't know that he would be having the year that he is with us. Agreed, but he says he felt like he undersold him, and I kind of agree. I mean, you got Yuri Laterra and 2 draft picks from him. One, I believe, was a first-round pick, which you wound up getting Morgan Frost for. I believe the second one was a second-round pick. Conditional 2018 pick. So they got another pick for this year.
Yeah, I could say that with
2 first-round picks. Okay, so it was 2 first-round picks.
I mean, the problem is that Braden Shen, and this is the issue, because hindsight being 2020, you look back on the deal and you see like, well, now obviously St. Louis definitely wins the deal. But here's the thing, though. What else were we going to be able to really sell? I mean, Schenn did have the potential to be a great scorer, and he had a great potential to be that, but that was all he had at the time, because unfortunately for us, he really hadn't had the earth-shattering season we needed him to have in the past. And that was what the tough part is to sell to anybody. That's the problem. You could say this kid has got all the talent in the world, but if he hasn't proved it on the ice and he's been on your team for 3 years, they're going to scratch their head. I was like, are you sure he does? Because from what his play is, I can't see that. And that's the big issue. I don't think St. Louis's GM was buying any of it for any 2 seconds, and I think that was what the problem was. Did he undersell him? Probably. But unfortunately, Schenn obviously wasn't fitting in the system properly, and clearly he wasn't having enough goals and enough points during the season, clearly, to be tantalizing enough for the St. Louis GM to say, I want to give out more for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they send out scouts before the games.
Yeah.
Before all these trades happen, just to make sure, they're getting what they make sure they get the value for the player that they have, and make sure that he's the type of player that's going to fit the system. And I think maybe you undersold a little bit on Braden Schenn, but I think the Flyers got really good value back because Morgan Frost is a very good young prospect that the Flyers got. You have another first-round pick in 2018, which is a conditional pick. I'll try and see if I can find the conditions for it, but
it probably is.
You could have gotten a better player than Yuri Laterra.
The probably is if St. Louis had a bad year and they drafted higher than what they were expected to, then that probably would change to a second rounder. That's probably what I think the conditions would be if they're smart, which St. Louis has proven that they are. So that's probably what the conditions are. Could be wrong, but that would be my guess as to what those conditions are. Because it wouldn't make any sense to say, oh, well, it changes to second if we make the playoffs. Like, but you're picking lower. So that makes no sense.
I mean, I got Michael Klankoff chiming in, who's usually here on the couch with us, but
yeah, it's okay. He's been
apparently
we got a nice substitute in here. Good old Mr. Number 8, Mark Recchi, right on over.
There you go, Mikey. You've been replaced.
Went from the Legion of Doom to back to the Crazy Eights.
Yeah,
right.
Yes.
He comments, "Go Buffalo." Him being the Penguins fan that he is.
Yeah, 2 billion.
And then we have Michael Wesley Chromiak chiming back in again with, oh, my thing popped away. The dreaded conditional pick. Now, unfortunately, the conditional pick from the article that I was reading doesn't say much about it in there, but hopefully it's good conditions and the Flyers can wind up getting that first round pick.
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully higher.
With that, I mean, hopefully. And by the way, Mikey, I think it's a little too late to say go Buffalo because they kind of lost. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm with Mike. I don't like the conditional pick.
I mean, the condition, yeah, I will agree with that one. I don't like conditional picks because that's pretty much saying, yeah, I'll give it to you, but I have some of those conditions and everything. It's kind of like the GM saying, the GM screwing with you a little bit. But unfortunately, again, what were you supposed to do when you had to move Braden Schenn off the books? But before we get into any more comments real fast, from David Roska, he says, Jiggy has Conn Smythe Trophy because the cup belongs to Anaheim.
Wait, read that again?
Jiggy.
Yeah, what about him?
He says has Conn Smythe Trophy because that cup belongs to Anaheim.
Oh, yeah. He was also the best. He deserved that. He stood on his head that entire series.
And I think that was the same series Brodeur made the silliest mistake. He went and played a puck out in the middle of his own ice and he knocked it into his own net. That was hilarious. Hilarious.
The triumphant off the floor on the board goal by Paul Kariya.
After getting taken out of that game and coming back in.
He came right back. And I don't know if anybody saw the documentary they did on Paul Kariya. Apparently he missed 3 days because of that hit.
And he didn't even remember he scored the goal.
No, he had no idea he scored. Couple more comments here. Michael Wesley Chromiak chiming back in. Pick is a top 10 protected. Turns into third if in the top 10.
I mean, That's if it's in the top 10. I highly doubt it will go to the top 10 because St. Louis is most likely going to find a way to make the playoffs. So I don't.
And they will. They're leading their division.
It's not going to go to a third round. Not at all.
Mikey's chiming back in. Penguins suck, already down 1-0 to the Knights. And he says, I root for anybody against the Flyers.
Of course. Well, the real question is, are the Penguins facing Las Vegas at home? Because this will determine whether or not the Penguins walk away with a loss or a win tonight.
No, their Penguins are on the road. They're in Las Vegas.
Oh, well, then they're fucked.
That team just does not lose. Oh, cool. Wait. What?
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. This thing
Are you
is
sure?
Yeah, I went to get an update on the Ducks game, which they're up 3-0. It says it's the end of the second, but it got goals by Andrew Cogliano and 2 by this young kid. I think his name is Kevin Waugh.
Is it spelled like Patrick Waugh?
Yep.
Awesome. He's not related, obviously.
But yeah, he says Mike Kremiak chimes back in. Yeah, I doubt it ends up being a third-round pick.
Yeah, it will be fine with that. I mean, the conditional is a little annoying, but still, it's okay. I'm not. I mean, again, I get why he would say you undersold him because you definitely did in a lot of ways, but at the same time, you're like you can't really make much of a case when you don't have enough good track record or good seasons to say, hey man, this kid scored this many goals this year, he got this much points this year. He's worth more than just Yuri Laterra and a conditional pick. He's worth a hell of a lot more than that. It's hard to sell that when you don't have those earth-shattering numbers.
No, I totally agree. But, St. Louis is in a situation where they want to win a cup now. Flyers are in a retooling. So, unfortunately, you got to pick and choose guys. This guy isn't really fitting. This guy's fitting better. Let's send this guy away. Let's see if we can get some draft picks. Morgan Frost is a highly talented prospect, and Flyers were lucky to get him at the end of the first round.
Well, I mean, let's see what happens. I mean, it may pan out where Morgan Frost winds up on the Flyers team, and he winds up being one of the better players that we have going down the line. So if that ends up being the case, it's like, okay, then we didn't really lose. It was a 50-50 trade. They got Braden Shen, we got Morgan Frost. So let's see what happens as he pans out. Yes, it's a roll the dice like all prospects are, but who knows? Maybe he'll be a diamond in the late first round rough. Who knows? We still have Nolan Patrick at the end of the day, so it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, Flyers farm system is number 1 in the NHL for a reason.
True. I mean, obviously it's going to go down a little bit because we brought some of those guys up, but still.
The way I see it is if you have a number 1 farm system in the NHL, I mean, you're obviously doing your drafting and your scouting right, but you want to get those guys up. You want to get those guys into the NHL, get them on the big squad. And
Samuel Morin.
I could think of a couple other people, but yeah, Sam Morin.
One of the main ones.
One of the guys that absolutely deserves to be up here.
Should have been, but oh well. Got to have a spot for that, earth-shattering captain, Andrew McDonald of the defense. Because he's done so much good for this team.
Well, unfortunately, I think Hextall's got his hands tied on this one. He's getting paid $5 million. You're not going to make that guy go sit up in the press box.
The truth is, though, I'm surprised that nobody would. I mean, honestly, does a salary really – yeah, I get it. On your payroll, he's making a lot of money to sit down. But if you have a good enough team, that's going to happen anyway. Like, I mean, how many times did you have teams in the sports of basketball, baseball, football, where guys were making pretty good money, but they were sitting on their ass 90% of the time because the team ahead of them was so much better? Like, in my opinion, to me, it just doesn't seem like if you want to make your team better, someone's just like, you know what, sit him down. Because he's not doing anything. Sure, he could sit on his contract and make his money, but he isn't going to play on the team. That might eat him up more than him being on the team and sucking.
Yeah.
I mean, just saying.
No, but they could be just trying to showcase him and finally try and trade him and get him off the books.
That too. That's probably what they're trying to do, sadly. Well, I mean, he hasn't done too bad, so maybe his value's up enough to where maybe we could sell him. Maybe. That's a big maybe. So, with that being said, we're going to have to take a quick break.
I figured out a way.
Nice. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we will jump right back into the Flyers schedule, see what they got coming up on the rest of their 5-game homestand as they will, like I said, prepare to face Dallas. We'll give a prediction in the score on that one. And then after that, we'll dive into the final 2 games and see what they got for the rest of December. That is on the other side. But first, Let me talk to you guys about Liberty Event Rentals. They're located at 2154 East Cambria Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You can give them a call at 267-314-7368. They got tables, chairs, tents, linens, anything for your party or event needs. Hey, guess what? It is the holiday season, and Christmas and whatever holiday you celebrate is right around the corner. So if you're going to have an event, go to Liberty Event Rentals. And you can find them online at www.libertyeventrentals.com. This is the Hockey Happy Hour on A2DRadio.com, and we will be right back right after this.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of Real Talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
You're listening to
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. I am Master Sudi, along with the Darkwing Brian Daly and the Broken One himself, Mr. Rob Povia, behind the board. And we are brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountants, located 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, PA. You can give them a call at 215-369-3300. Hey, guess what, folks? Tax season is almost here. There's very few guarantees in life. Taxes are one of them, sadly. So be ready, be prepared, get Gibson Mayer.
Yes.
Worst guarantee ever.
All right, well.
You know what I do, Maddie?
What?
I find typos and I delete them. Yes.
Oh.
In this case, I delete inadequate producer stylings tonight. I apologize for some of the technical difficulties that I was having. Nothing with the station. All me. I own it. Continue.
The Broken One has spoken as he has sentenced everything to deletion.
My producing game has been quite obsolete tonight. Yes.
Oh, just fade away and classify yourself as obsolete. Moving on. With that, we bring ourselves back to the realm of hockey as David Roska chimed in on the YouTube, making sure that the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, Mr. Brian Daly, getting his Anaheim Ducks updates, as Anaheim is currently up 3-0 on the St. Louis Blues.
Well, I'm going to update him. It's 3-1.
Ooh.
I jinxed him. I said the word you should never say.
What did you do?
I said shut out.
What is wrong with you, man? You never say that about your team when they are up 3-0 or 1-0 or hell, any nothing. That is a jinx.
Under 4 minutes left. I thought it was a shirt.
No, that is not an excuse.
I'm going to go sit in the corner.
Yes, sit in the corner. Jesus. Get 2 minutes in the box for jinxing your team.
Damn it.
Moving on. With the rest of the scores going on in the NHL right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs currently are on a power play, and they are down 2-0 to the Minnesota Wild with 5:34 left to go in the third. Can the Maple Leafs rear back? Well, they are on a power play, and they do have a crazy offense, so you never know with this team.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Chicago Blackhawks are up 5-1 on the Winnipeg Jets, absolutely spanking them with 6 seconds left. It's safe to say that score is completely intact. Although I could be wrong. Meanwhile, the Florida Panthers and the Colorado Avalanche tied at 1 goal apiece in the second period at 4:29. Will that game go to overtime? Oddly enough, if you rewound the tape last year, this would be bottom of the barrel facing bottom of the barrel, but it is not actually.
You would think that.
Yeah.
If we're based off of what they did last year, which fortunately we're not. Florida's showing that they can compete. Colorado is doing their thing.
Yeah.
So
2 teams you figured would be just, sucking shit. Then luckily enough, here they are. Next up, the Sharks and the Calgary Flames. It is 2-1 Sharks in the second period with 7:46 left to go. Meanwhile, the Predators, the runners-up to the Stanley Cup with only 9 shots on goal. Let me point that out. Only 9 shots on goal against the Edmonton Oilers, who have 30 shots on goal in the second with 7:54 to go, yet they lead the game 2-0. That makes absolutely not a lick of sense, but
hey, listen, I've always said to you guys in the past, it's not about the number of shots, it's the number of quality shots that matter.
This is true. And Pecorine is still a phenomenal goalie, so he's probably standing on his head, clearly, if he's shutting down 30 Oiler shots.
To what you said, Brian, that applies to not only on ice, but actually on the bar scene, too. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And adding on to that, also, the Flyers, should they aim for the 10 that's sitting at the top, at the front of the bar, or should they aim for the 6 that's on the far side in the dark corner of the bar?
Well, you work your way up. You start at the 6, and then you go to the 7, and you get the confidence, you go to the 8, you get the confidence, you go to the 9. You keep going.
It's a domino effect. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what it works like. Rob, what's your take on that?
Say again? Sorry.
When you start off, do you start off with the 6 and then work your way up to the 10, or do you start with the 10 and just shoot for that number 1 already?
Nah, I don't go for 10s, man. 10s are like limp, they're like fucking,
they're the ones,
board
dude.
in bed.
They're the ones that they don't give any effort because they're a 10. They don't feel like they need to.
I focus on 7s and I get 7s.
Nice.
That's what I do.
They put forth the effort.
So the magic number.
Yes, they do, Brian. Yes,
they do.
So the magic number is 7, something that your Anaheim Ducks need to fix. But
Yes.
I had to do it, Brian. Sorry. I had to do that one.
Well, they fixed it last year.
Yeah, but it still. I had to do it. At some point.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Mikey will be here next week and he'll bust my balls. So there you go. He'll make up for it. Meanwhile, the Lightning versus the Arizona Coyotes. And Tampa Bay is surprisingly winning this game. No, not really. It's not a surprise at all. It's a 3-1 victory right now, or at least it will be, because it is 5:51. It is in the second, but you know what? Let's be honest. What the hell are the Coyotes going to do to the Tampa Bay Lightning?
You never know.
I don't know.
You never know.
I don't know. Then again, I also hate Arizona just because the team shouldn't be there. So, But anyway, Penguins versus the Golden Knights. I don't know. I think Mikey went a little too quick on the sucking part because the Penguins did tie it up. It is 7:12 left in the first, and it is on Las Vegas soil. So I don't know. I still say the Penguins are fucked, but that's just me.
I'm not gonna go that far. I'm the optimist.
You're the optimist.
I'm the optimist.
Okay. Well, since I'm a Flyers fan, I'm contractually and fan obligated to say the Penguins will not beat the Golden Knights. There you go.
Understandable.
That is my formal and honorable way of saying, fuck you, Penguins.
That's understandable. I
but
get
anyway, moving on. Washington Capitals with a victory today, defeating the Boston Bruins 5-3, pretty much putting a nice little 5 nail into the coffin of the Boston Bruins on that one.
Boston Bruins, who have also put Matt Bolesky on waivers to send him down to the AHL.
What do you feel about that?
I have no feelings towards it. Matt Bolesky had a good year with the Ducks. Left Anaheim, went to Boston, signed a lucrative contract, and he's I feel like he's paying his price now.
Clearly not living up to it.
Clearly. He's getting sent down, man.
That's pretty bad when you go from a team that you played well on to a team that you were supposed to play well on, and then in one short year you get sent down to the AHL.
He had a good first year with Boston, and then after that he kind of just went downhill from there.
It's still just wow.
Injury woes and stuff like that too, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Matt Bolesky will be playing for the Providence Bruins.
Oh, well, maybe he can win him a Calder Cup. Anyway, Flyers, of course, winning 2-1 over the Buffalo Sabres, making it a 5-game win streak for them, building on their season, hopefully to reclaim that fire and that swagger that they had going into the season. The Islanders and the Blue Jackets met, and the Blue Jackets defeated the Islanders 6-4. We are just having some crazy scores going around right here tonight. And this makes the Blue Jackets 20-11-1 on the season. My God, this Blue Jackets team. Every year they just manage to come out and just say, you know what, fuck all y'all. We're going to be the team to beat. Literally, that is what the Blue Jackets are doing right now.
Yeah. And, I mean, the Panarin experiment, getting him, you thought, would he struggle being away from Kane and Taves? Well, the answer has been yet.
Nope.
He brought that high-scoring level, and that's what they needed. I mean, the strong defensive team, obviously it starts in net with Bob. Always had solid defenders. You question outside of Cam Atkinson, and Nick Foligno, who's going to score goals for this team? Well,
yeah.
The answer's been Panarin.
Yeah. I mean, they built a really strong defensive team in Columbus. John Tortorella has done a good job at making sure that they play good defense, and they went out and they brought in some good offensive firepower.
And when you're making Torts look smart, man, you're doing something.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I know, I hate on the man too much.
Well, I mean, the last team that made him look really smart managed to win a Stanley Cup. Not the New York Rangers. I'm talking the Tampa Bay Lightning, but that's a different story.
Some time ago.
Yeah, we're talking 2004. So
13 years ago, almost 14 years ago. Wow.
That's crazy.
FML.
Oh man, that sucked too because they beat the Flyers to get to the. No, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it.
We're not going there.
We're not going there. We are not going back to bad memories. No.
Not gonna do it.
No, that's a bad Flyers fan. No.
Bad Matthew. Bad Matthew.
I wish you were a woman saying that, but okay.
Well, whoa.
Hey now.
Whoa.
I'm just joking. Relax.
So with that win, the Flyers put themselves 2 points out of the wild card spot after losing 10 in a row.
What's this Roska saying? Carlson trade from Ottawa?
Carlson, David. I think he wants Eric Carlson from Ottawa.
Oh, he's wishing, he's hoping.
He's hoping.
Fire sale in Ottawa.
They're not going to trade him anytime soon.
No.
He's the one guy that's untouchable on that roster.
Yeah, you'd have to say so, right?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, what else have I missed?
I was going to say, what did I miss?
Yeah.
This is important, though. The New Jersey Devils lost.
Hooray!
Thank you, Canadians. I will accept your Christmas present. Thank you very much. Nothing like a 2-1 OT victory. Devils, you can all go suck it.
Yeah,
I have a comment, but I'll keep that one to myself.
What?
Devils are so higher in the standings.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they've been a huge surprise this year, resting at 39 points, just 2 behind Metropolitan leading Blue Jackets and Caps.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah, but Mikey put it into perspective last week. This always happens with the Devils. They start the season off well, and then as the season gets longer, you start to see the Devils slowly go downhill to where they go back to where they belong, dead last
back
in
to
the
where
East.
they belong.
And they've been 5-4-1 over the last 10, so maybe that's starting to begin because you think, okay, 2 points out of the tie for first in the Metropolitan there, but that's only 6 points ahead of a Flyers team that had been sputtering before this winning streak. So I mean, that's Devils fans, calm down. Actually, the Devils fans aren't around. They're not around until March anyway.
This is a good point.
March, April, usually playoff time.
Yeah, usually around that period. They take off either their New York Islanders or New York Rangers jerseys and then jump to the New Jersey Devils side.
And then there's the red hot Washington Capitals sitting at 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
Well, what else is new? It's the regular season.
Yeah.
So offended.
Until
So offended.
Until they can do it in the playoffs, then come talk to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens moving forward with the Washington Capitals. How long do you think? How long do you think until the Capitals screw this one up again? How long do you think they screw the pooch? Semifinals, quarterfinals? You think they get to the Eastern Conference Finals and then lose? What are you feeling?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of great teams in the East. So, I mean, I can't even confidently say they would take a step forward even if they put forth a strong playoff effort because of the level of competition you'll be going against. I mean, the Atlantic is sick. You know, our division is absolutely sick. Metropolitan, that being. I'm not a Flyer, so I shouldn't say our. But the Metropolitan division is absolutely sick. I mean, you know, it's tough sledding.
No, it is. And this is why I love hockey. It's all the talent is spread out. Teams are getting better every year. Some are getting worse, but most are getting better. And these divisions are getting tighter and tighter every year because scouting has been good. Teams are drafting well. It's just fun to watch. It makes for really good hockey when teams are competitive like this.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be annoying coming to the end of the season, though. Oh, I'm not looking forward to that. It's going to be nail-biting every single game. And we're just going to have to watch the scores, like, just religiously. Pop it up on the phone, just like, did they lose? Did this team lose? Did that team lose? Did the Flyers win? Like, oh, my God, I'm not looking forward to that part of the season.
That's the fun part of the year.
It's fun, but it's also annoying because it's not like you. You guys have been able to ride high in the division. Like, think about that. You guys have had it nice and good. You guys we're just sitting in the division. We're just playing for positioning. We know we're going to make the playoffs. We don't need to worry about shit right now. Meanwhile, the Flyers are barely competing in freaking wild card stage. Just like, Jesus, did Boston lose today? Did Detroit lose today? Did the Devils finally lose like they're supposed to? Did somebody lose that we needed to lose? Like, Christ, this is annoying.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not like that. It hasn't been like that this year. Injury woes. No Kessler, no Getzlaf, no Perry, no Fowler, all at some point this year.
They'll be back before you know it, and then you guys be riding high.
Yeah, but every time we get somebody back, somebody else leaves. It's a rotating goddamn door. Hey, Getzlaf is back. Up, there goes Hampus home.
Yeah, I may not.
Up, Hampus home is back. Up, Corey Perry just broke a leg.
It's not going to last forever.
I hope not.
As long as, at some point it's going to stop. It's going to stop at some point.
Well, it's nice that they're staying afloat and they're staying in it.
Well, think about it this way. If everybody gets hurt at one point, then there's nobody left to get hurt. Everybody's been hurt, so it's over.
Good point.
It's over. It's like the plague. Everybody's been infected. They've all died off. It's over. It can't hurt nobody no more.
What is it? It's over. Yes.
I think
It's like the plague.
I'll be honest with you, that was by accident. I did not mean to set that one up.
Oh, if you say something remotely in the broken universe, I'm going to...
I know. You're going to be all over that one.
It's setting up for wrestling shows coming about here next week. Isn't that right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That is right. There is a wrestling show. You know what? I have failed to mention this. I think hell has frozen over. That's why it's so cold in this studio. There's actually going to be a wrestling show on a2dradio.com.
And how appropriately, like the wrestling show and then Hockey Happy Hour right after it. It's going to be a nice block.
Yeah.
Tom Arnone chiming in on Facebook Live. Well said, Maddie. Nobody likes the plague. Uh-oh. He also goes on to say, oh, here we go.
Yes.
What? It's just a simple comment and just a simple observation. I'm just bringing out facts. That's all I'm just saying. It's okay. I'm a history major in school, so I have to do this. It's necessary. It's necessary.
You say, grow up, Peter Pan, Maddie. It's not that cold. It's not that bad. I mean, I got a heater sitting under me, so
I
I'm
was
good.
only making a comment about the fact that it's cold in the studio and the fact there's a wrestling show. I'm not saying that it's too cold that I can't stand it. That wasn't the fact. That wasn't what I was bringing up. What?
I like it when you two bicker. It's fun.
Let me reel it back into some hockey.
Let's do that. By the way, Anaheim, third straight win. Okay, go back, Rob. Go ahead.
Talking about, other not surprising teams. We expect the Rangers to be in contention, but, not off to a great start at the beginning of the season or creeping back into it, thanks to the great play of Henrik Lundqvist, who just became the 15th goalie to have 20,000 saves. That's unbelievable.
20,000?
20,000 saves. That's a lot of rubber to stop, even for a prostitute like Henrik Lundqvist. Wait, that's a nice double entendre.
Something doesn't seem right there, but all right.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's powerful enough to stop it. So.
Right. A pair of St. Louis Blues were leading the NHL's 3 stars of the week. Former, Flyer Braden Shen, number 1 star. Jake Allen, number 2. And then a nice time back to Philly, number 3 star, Brian Elliott, who's been playing pretty stellar in goalie, except a couple loose ones. The first goal tonight, he made a mistake behind the net.
Something to think about.
What?
Braden Shen, blue. And then you have
Jake Allen.
And Brian Elliott, all associated with St. Louis at some point in their careers.
That's funny. I just really, Jake Allen and Brian Elliott. And they used to compete for the starting position every year. Mm-hmm. That was fun. And I believe Yaroslav Halak wound up in the middle of that, too, at one point. Man, St. Louis has had a rotating goaltender situation. We know your pain. But anyway.
This is going to be good, too. I don't know if you guys mentioned it on a past show, but the Flyers are going to host the Penguins in 2019, the Coors Light Stadium Series on February 23rd at the Link. That should be fun.
Oh, yeah. I actually kind of forgot about that.
That is true.
I forgot about that. That should be – I think the Link is going to be a really good venue for that.
I finally got a chance to see a show, too, at the Link. Because obviously I don't follow football, except the fact that I cannot go 2 steps without hearing Carson Wentz got hurt. and the season's over. That's pretty much what I've heard for the better part of a week now. But
it's all right. I got faith. I'm wearing my NFC East championship hat.
I mean, be that as that may, though, I did get a chance to see a show there, and it's a really cool place. It's awesome. It was, even though I was in the cheap seats, I got a chance to go see Metallica there, that was awesome. That's a pretty nice little stadium that the Eagles got down there.
Yeah, and it's nice, too, because it's kind of steep, so you actually look straight down into stuff. So when they got the rink, it's going to be
everything. Yes.
Right. And
I love it.
Seats everywhere. You're going to be able to just be higher up and it's going to be almost like a straight look down. I think it's going to be an awesome venue for a hockey game. I think that's not going to be the last one at the Link.
No, probably not. I mean, let's think about it. The Flyers have only ever hosted 2 outdoor games. One was against the Rangers in the Winter Classic, and now this one against the Penguins. I mean, hell, there's still a few other rivals we haven't had a chance to have a Stadium Series matchup with.
Yeah.
I mean, we had never got a chance to host Boston. We never got a chance to host the New Jersey Devils. We never got a chance to host I'm just going to throw them in there, the Buffalo Sabres, just because I want to see the Flyers kick the shit out of them. So
I mean, I'm going to say this, though. They're doing outdoor games so much to the point where it's starting to get, it's losing its speciality.
See, that was what I was worried about because they did do too many of them, in my opinion, especially considering the fact they burnt a lot of really great rivalries just for the Stadium Series. Like, for example, Yankee Stadium. Mm-hmm. They had the Rangers face the Devils. They also had the Rangers face the Islanders. I'm like, you just took out the Rangers' 2 main rivals in just 1 year.
Yeah.
Sorry, that sounds stupid because it is stupid. Just saying.
Well, I mean, a lot of this, you also got to think, a lot of stadiums don't hold a lot of seats. I mean, yeah, you're obviously going to double in an outdoor game. You're going to double the revenue because you're looking at a hockey arena that's about 17, 18, 19, 20,000 people. You're going to go to another stadium that's going to hold roughly 45.
Give or take. Some of them actually get up to 40. Some, not many. I think mostly in Canada they get up to the 40,000 if you want to.
But yeah, you go to the Link, you're going to get probably 35, 40, 45,000 people. Maybe. Game at Citizens Bank Park.
Maybe
brought in 45,000 plus.
Maybe a little more, possibly.
So I mean, you bring in a rivalry like that, it's going to make the outdoor game better, but to me, it's losing its luster because of how often they do it.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, they should have just kept it to Winter Classic and maybe a Heritage Classic where you could have 2 Canadian teams face off up in Canada in a stadium.
Oh, for sure.
Have
only 2.
A Winter Classic game and in the United States.
Yeah,
And then
no,
that way
only two.
both Canada and the U.S. could get a stadium game in, and then that's the end of it. I mean,
Agreed.
hell, it would have been great if you had just done the Centennial Classic between Toronto and I believe it was Detroit.
Ottawa.
Was it Ottawa or Detroit?
Oh, you might be right.
It was Toronto and Detroit because I think Ottawa and Toronto are going to do it this year.
You're right.
They're going to do it this year. But you do that, and then you could have had the Winter Classic, which was between who again?
This year?
Yeah, that's what confuses me because they do so many stadium series. I don't even remember what the Winter Classic was.
Yeah, it takes away from that New Year's Day
Buffalo
game.
and the Rangers.
Yeah.
Okay, there. All right. Which is a rivalry, so they didn't go wrong in that regard. Unfortunately, is it a heated rivalry anymore? Not since Buffalo has kind of lost their luster in recent years.
I forget where it is.
This year for the Winter Classic?
Not Safeco. Safeco's in Seattle.
Maybe
Mets Stadium. City Field, I think.
It's the Islanders against somebody, if I stand correct.
No,
right?
this year, 2018 Winter Classic, Rangers versus Sabres, City Field.
Okay.
really?
I was right.
Okay, I'm going to say that's stupid because City Field should be for the Islanders. Maybe that's just because the Mets.
Well,
and
they
the
already did
Islanders
Yankee
shame
Stadium,
the-
so
I get that, but maybe because the Islanders and the Mets share the same colors, maybe that's the reason why. Or maybe it's because I think the fan base usually it's Mets and Islanders. At least in my opinion, that's how I've seen it.
Yeah, Rangers, Yanks, Mets, Islanders. I mean, yeah, I've known a lot of Rangers, Mets fans, though, over the years. I mean, it's sort of interchangeable or what have you. But you're talking about Queens. Queens, yeah, is out near Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So, but that's not even where they're playing anymore. So, you know,
No,
it's hard to keep track of all this New York nonsense going down.
But yeah, loses its luster. I'm ready for him to go back to just a Winter Classic and a Heritage game, which a Heritage game is usually better than a Winter Classic anyway.
That's because they have the two Canadian teams and because they have this big giant festival because it's in Canada.
It's
You know,
huge.
I mean, in America, it's usually done in a respectful manner, but it's treated like a Super Bowl.
New Year's
you
Day.
just do the national anthem. You sometimes have a halftime show, and then boom, you're right back to the game. And there's not a whole lot of heritage brought into it because, unfortunately, hockey was not created in the United States. It was invented in Canada. So I guess that's the reason behind it.
Blame Canada.
Yeah. That's their national anthem, actually. Blame
Is it?
Canada.
Nice.
Yes. Blame Canada.
For any of you who haven't gotten a chance to see any like Heritage game coverage, game pregame, check it out. It's actually some pretty cool stuff. I got to see it a couple years ago between, I believe it was Vancouver and I want to say it was Vancouver and Edmonton.
What, the first one?
It
Or
wasn't
last
the
year?
first one. It was a couple of years ago.
There was one between Edmonton and
Vancouver and Ottawa.
Vancouver and Ottawa had one, and Vancouver dressed up like the Vancouver Millionaires.
Yeah.
The only Vancouver team to win a Stanley Cup, too. Funny enough.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was great. The pregame was cool. All the Heritage stuff that they covered. It was great. It's better. Honestly, I think it's better than the Winter Classic.
Yeah, and I loved it, too, because it went into the history of Vancouver and its history with hockey because the Canucks were not the first team in Vancouver. The Millionaires, of course, and they were called the Millionaires because they were the first millionaire hockey team. And they had, like, literally a star-studded team that could not be beat, and they won the Stanley Cup easily.
Yeah.
But that's just great history right there. You can't really – it's like baseball. You know, there's just so much great history to it. It's awesome. It's so awesome.
And not a lot of people know the history. Like, I'm one of them. Like, I'm slowly starting to learn the history of the game and players and where teams have come from and where they're going. Like, you're never going to know the future of this game until you actually know the past.
Yeah, true. I mean, hell, there's some great documentaries about it. By the way, one of them for hockey is Hockey, a People Sport, and it was a Canadian documentary, obviously. It's like a 5-parter or a 6-parter, and it goes into the different eras, and even all the way back into the 17 and 1800s. It's remarkable. If you ever want to know more about hockey, there you go. That's the perfect documentary for you, and I found it on YouTube, of all places. So go right ahead, look it up. You'll find it.
Everything's on YouTube nowadays.
This is true.
YouTube TV, wave of the future.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
So, with that being said, are there any more comments on Facebook?
Tom Arnold goes to say it's warm in here.
Hey, where
Said
you
hockey's cold, and of course,
Yeah.
you guys go elsewhere and get better. And James Wilder just chiming in the Cleveland Barons.
That's why we drink during this show. Keep warm. Yeah.
The Cleveland Barons.
Cleveland Barons.
That's a good one.
There's a team. They lasted for all of, I think, 1-2 seasons.
He also goes on to say, I got a nice California Golden Teals jersey.
Interesting. There's a piece of history.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely a collector's item.
Little piece, we came into the league together,
I think
We,
the only
Flyers.
Yes.
the only
Back in
vintage
the day.
jersey I have is like a 1967 LA Kings jersey where it's like the yellow and
nice.
purple.
That's kind of,
nice.
don't you think that that's a little bit of a bad move considering the fact that you're a Ducks fan?
I don't wear it. I have it packed away somewhere. At that point, I was just collecting jerseys.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like,
Yeah, there's no name, no number on it. It's just a blank jersey, and I bought it because I saw it somewhere, and I was just like, hey, you don't see these around very often, and I bought it. Just to add to the collection.
the old purple and yellow back in the day.
Yeah.
Which it's a very interesting color scheme.
Very
Oh,
regal.
it's an ugly jersey.
Yeah.
It's an ugly jersey.
But that was the 70s, though, back in the day. They had ugly jerseys everywhere in sports back then. I mean, it wasn't just hockey. It was everywhere at that time.
Truth.
I mean, look at the baseball jerseys back then, for Christ's sake. I think Pittsburgh had like 40. So,
Are you guys ready for random fact number 2 from Mr. Tim Saunders of the evening?
Well, we've been pushing out a bunch of random facts, so you might as well.
Yes, that's what I figured. I was waiting for the proper time
Yes.
in the show. Yeah. Well, you know that Michael Raffle is slowly becoming my new man crush.
This is true.
I just love guys that can just do several different jobs on a team, and that's what Raffle's been asked to do this year.
Very hard-nosed player.
Yeah, started the year as a fourth liner on an energy line. Did quite well. I mean, that line of Law and Raffle and Lear was maybe arguably the second best line to the number one line that got off to such a hot start at the time of Voracek, Couturier, and Giroux. But, it just shows that he's capable when they were hurting for scoring. You move him up, and he shows those great hands, that sniper ability, that nose for the net. That I'm not saying he has the talent. So before I get attacked from the people, right, I'm not saying he has the talent level of, say, like a Patrick Kane, but he does have some of the moves. And when he cuts across the crease on the edge of the blades of his skates, reeling that puck back on a nice deke and then shelves it, that's a Kaner move. That's an absolute Kaner move.
It's a
And
pure
he brings
power
that.
move.
It's a pure power move, and that's what he is. It's like that power forward force that he's brought to this team. And again, we're talking. He's put up 3 goals in the last 4. 6 on the season now. I know that's a low total, but I mean 6 of those coming. Over the last 10 games or what have you.
Yeah.
But 3 goals in the last 4, and all of them have been game-winning goals. That was a nice little random factoid that I picked up this season.
He had a sweet power move against Pittsburgh, a week and a half ago, and he did exactly that. He made the power move. He got the edge, saw the poke check coming, pulled his stick back, and
Right.
Pittsburgh's goaltender's out, and he's got a wide open net to shoot at.
The best part of all this, Brian, is that at the end of the game, or actually it was in between periods because we finished the game during the show, they were interviewing him, and he just said something beautiful, in my opinion. He goes, I don't focus on the points. I focus on playing hard and getting my teammates back. I mean, what a great quote. What a quality guy. So for anybody that, you're looking at the point total and you're a little sour on Raffle, here's some of the words that I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to agree with everything, but he's a good quality player. He's a great bottom 6 guy who's creeping up towards the top 6 capabilities.
Yeah, no, agreed. He's a great teammate, a great locker room guy. He's not going to go out there and score you 30 goals a year, but that doesn't make a player any less valuable.
Truth.
So to add on to the theory of the Patrick Kane, what you're saying is there's a chance.
Yeah. He's got a strong soul in that vessel. He's about 1,037 years old.
So,
Delightful, yeah.
delightful. Scribe.
Yeah. I have a wonderful premonition.
Oh. This is getting out of control. This whole broken thing is getting way out of control.
I'm going to mute my mic for the rest of the show so you boys can finish strong. Rock it out. Last 6 minutes, boys.
All right. So, just to give everybody a quick update, the Flyers, like we said, they will be facing Dallas. I say they actually do beat Dallas. I say they actually get a win. It's a tight victory, but I think they win it 3-2. That's my prediction. What are you thinking, Brian?
I'm thinking this game goes to overtime.
Overtime, do you think Flyers win or lose?
I think the Flyers extend the streak in a shootout victory.
In a shootout?
Yes.
That's a ballsy prediction right there in the shootout of all things. Nice. I like that. That's a good prediction right there from you. Next up, the Los Angeles Kings will come to Philadelphia. I will say this is where our streak ends against the LA Kings.
Agreed.
It was nice while it lasted. It's a good beginning. It has a 6-game win streak. It's pretty, but I
got
think,
you right back in the thick of things.
Yeah, but I think LA not exactly ready to compete with them just yet. I think we'll probably lose. I'm going to say 3-1, maybe 4-1. We'll lose that game.
I like that. I agree. About 4-1, maybe 4-2. Like I said earlier in the show, Kings are a tough defensive team. They have the lowest goals allowed in the league at 73. There's just nothing left to really say about that.
Yeah, little tough on that one. And then Detroit finishes off the homestand. Now, that should be a win by all stretch of the imagination. We should be able to beat the Detroit Red Wings.
Actually, I think that's going to be a similar score to the Kings. I think the Flyers win that one 4-2.
They win that one 4-2 on the reverse side.
Yep.
I agree with you. I'm going to say 4-2 on that bad boy right there. So there you go. So that's the 5-game homestand. What is left of the 5-game homestand? Dallas with a win, LA the loss, and Detroit the win. I don't think we ever disagreed on any of our results. That's bad. That's very bad that we did that.
You're all wrong.
That is a bad omen. That's a bad omen.
All right, so let's quickly head to the rest of December so we can disagree and get this one and get the good luck back.
Sounds good to me.
So, Buffalo, we head on out to the First Niagara Center. I would like to say Buffalo could take revenge, but I'm going to say no. I say the Flyers win that game, and they win it 3-1.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
All right. Now we go to Columbus. This is a different story. We lose this game. We lose this game probably badly. I'm going to say 5-2. We lose this game.
Actually, this is where I'm going to disagree. I think they're going to get another little streak going here.
Good. That's what I needed. I needed you to disagree with me. Now, tell me why you disagree with me.
Why? I think just the Flyers, it's like one of the viewers said earlier. They got their swag back.
They did, but the thing is, we don't play well in Columbus. We never have.
They're due.
All right. I would like to see that happen. If they can do that, and they can give Torts a loss, I am perfectly fine with that.
I think it'll be a 4-3 victory.
I would like to see it. So hopefully your prediction comes true. And then we head on over to end December after the break. We take a little tour of the Sunshine State. We start off with the Florida Panthers. I say the Flyers can win this game. And I think they would, but it's going to be a tough one because Florida seems to be playing a little bit over what we thought they were going to be playing.
Yeah, Vincent Trocheck has been playing out of this world right now in that line as a whole. So it'll be a true test. But after that line, it gets a little
mean, one thing you got to keep in mind, too, Bobby Lou hurt himself. I don't know if he's still out. They did say he was going to miss an extended period of time, week to week. So, if you get James Reimer in that, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a phenomenal backup. But as long as it's James Reimer in that, I think the Flyers have a shot.
I would say a very tight OT 3-2 victory for Philadelphia in this one.
I like that.
And Tampa Bay would be the final one. I would love to say the Flyers can win this one, but no chance in heaven or earth could the Flyers beat the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, I think they'll lose that one, too.
Yeah, they're going to lose that one. They'll lose that one probably 4-2, I would say. Maybe 5-2.
In Tampa? You can't beat Tampa in Tampa this year, unfortunately.
I was saying 4-2, 5-2. What are you saying?
Actually, I think Flyers are going to compete. I'll say 4-3.
4-3? All right, I like that. A little bit of the huspa rolling on into Tampa. Not enough, though, to get over the Lightning. It's not that kind of year for Tampa. Tampa's not streaking like they did last year.
Oh, no, they're streaking. They're just streaking in a very positive, consistent way.
So the kind of streaking that is when you go on the football field, you actually get all the way down to the touchdown, and you actually hop back into the stands and escape.
We're going streaking through the quads.
Yep.
Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. So that is what is left for the Flyers in the month of December. That is our prediction. And that will do it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. I'll be honest with you, I was having so much fun, I lost track of time. But that'll do it for this edition. This was the Hockey Happy Hour in the BMW Atlantic City studios. And like we said before, if you ever wanted the ultimate driving experience, you can go to BMW of Atlantic City. You can find them at www.bmwatlanticcity.com. We also have the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs, and you can contact them at 856-939-2030. And that will do it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour, folks. I am Matt Sassuti. This is Brian the Darkwing Daily. That was Rob the Broken One Povia behind the boards. And we will see you all next Thursday, once again, on a2dradio.com. Peace, everyone.
Folks, Bob Mannery here, and you're listening to Agree to Disagree, the flagship, only on A2D Radio. Uncle Sweeps, Nick Delgazzo, the legendary Brian...